It didn't get it. I think it got like right at the end of it.
Mm,
Anyway,
yeah.
Luke sometimes just does weird stuff in front of the camera. Like he burped in the
Price is
first.
right. I'll do anything on the camera.
Well, welcome back to the animated DC show. Trying to DC number 3. Look at that, I rhymed. Uh, this one is the second movie in the DCAMU. That is pretty much just like the new 52 era animated movies. And
This is how you do it, Jacob.
okay,
This is what we want.
okay,
Just take this movie, put it on the silver screen with live action characters.
true. Let's jump into
Just
that
done.
top. Let's jump into
Just
that
done.
topic first because I've watched this movie I think 3 times now because I actually watched it on my own randomly one day. I just watched it on HBO Max and then we started doing this show. So I've seen it pretty
So
recently.
I watched it about the time that it came out.
Yeah, I watched it
I
then
think
too.
I watched it. I think I watched it about the time that we got the HBO app because I went through and watched a bunch of just random movies, and then I think I watched it again today. So yeah, I think I've seen it maybe 4 times, but
Wow. Why did way to fucking try and one up me, dude? Whatever.
I did want to be a bit bitch.
You bitch.
But
Uh,
any
anyway,
Hoosiers.
yeah, I feel like that's a good topic because again, I said in the last episode, I said that um I had read the Jeff Johns series in the New 52, which is this pretty much based on that. And when I read that book and when I watched this movie, I said this is how they should do Zack Snyder's Justice League. Jack Snyder, Zack's brother. He's actually a good filmmaker. No,
He's not a
I don't.
bad filmmaker, Jacob.
No.
He just has his quirks.
Zack Snyder. I'm not gonna lie. Zack Snyder has made movies that I've liked, so I'm not gonna say he hasn't made good movies to me.
He's
Like
just
I enjoyed his Watchmen. I did. So
As I say, he's gotten to the point though where he's a little bit too repetitive,
good God, the slow mo in the Snyder cut. Oof.
and he
But
needs to get to the point.
but what this movie does really well, and what the series it's based on does really well, is it because Jeff Johns has always been good at this. It describes the DC universe in a broad way, but also giving you good action and good. It's still moving the story forward. You're not having to stop, and it's a good way of being like, hey, again, DC, this is your blueprint. You don't want to take the time that Marvel did and make was it 4 movies? Yeah, 2 Iron Man
Yeah,
movies
the
and
main, the
Thor and Captain
main.
America. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I say the main
5. It was
characters got
5
their own movies.
because it was Hulk too.
Yeah,
Excuse me. And they don't want to take time to make those 5 movies, so they're like, okay, we're just gonna put them all in the same movie. This was the blueprint. Like, sorry,
have them
this
have
does
them
a great
already established as heroes. They already got their origin
allergies.
story off screen.
Kicking my
They
ass.
haven't met before, but they're all gonna fight the
And
same
they do
threat.
a great job of giving you presence and making you understand they're important in this world because you're having these other characters be intimidated and like scared of you. Like again, it does what these it copied the Avengers. They literally do stuff from the Avengers in this movie and in this story. Like the big because they do what superhero tropes are, where it's like, well, they have to fight first and then they become a team. Like, but it works effectively because it feels like, okay, we're finally going back to square one. We're going back to the roots of these characters. And what makes these things fun is these interactions that they have with each other, you know? Like they're just beating up parademons most of this movie, and most of it is just dialogue of them like
Yeah,
in between, like, hey, you're not really a vampire? Yeah, I'm not. And he's just punching.
like
That
fucking
doesn't
bat.
literally
Like the first couple minutes of Batman
I
and Green
loved
Lantern is
that so
funny
much.
because Green Lantern is this arrogant douchebag, and Batman is he's the same. He's essentially the same character, but he can back it up without saying anything, without doing
Yeah,
anything. He
Batman has
basically just looks
confidence.
at him as just like, Check it.
Well, the scene in the beginning of the movie when they're in that sewer is just brilliant. When he's like talking and he's trying to figure out how Green Lantern uses his powers, and he's like,
It takes the ring from
he
him.
literally, yeah, pulls a sleight of hand on him, and I'm like, that's such a Batman and Hal, like such a Bruce Wayne Hal Jordan interaction, and I think that could have worked in a live action movie. There's so much of this movie that it's clear, it's like it's super comic book pulp, and it's like just right in front of your face, like. It's so frustrating that DC didn't do something like this because I think, and I understand the reason to do a more adult tone or go a little bit darker is to kind of be the anti jokey, quippy, funny Marvel shit. I can understand that on one level because you want to be different, but like, dude, there's a reason it works. There's a reason people like it. You know what I mean? And some of
If
the
you
best
have,
DC stories are when they embrace the comic bookness of it. You know?
but you also have all these characters that are all different, that are all in their own realm of things. They all do different stuff. You can have everybody be light, comic-y, colorful, because they're gonna be up here. Batman's gonna bring you down here because he's dark, depressing, brooding, and all this stuff. So you can kind of find that middle ground with
Yeah.
everybody else because you can't have everyone be dark and depressing because Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League, even the filter of the camera was too dark. Like if you just went up on the brightness a little bit, it would have been such a better movie
Yeah.
because you would see that it's blue, not fucking
Yeah, they should have made his well,
a
and
step behind being black.
I just think that my big issue with it is I just I really look forward to what James Gunn is doing with the character and what he's going to be doing with that because it definitely seems like it's going back to the more hopeful
Mhm.
um good guy stuff. And like there's a way to make that story compelling but and not seem 100% cheese. Like and I think that these movies do a great job of doing that for each character because when you think about it, it's comic books are always silly and fun. And like, are there absolutely like really serious and adult comic books out there, graphic novels? Some of the best ones are. I mean, like Watchmen is a great example. That is a very serious story, and it's one of the most popular stories, one of my favorites. But I just love popcorn pulp, and it's fun to see it. And it's just in this movie, and I said last week, and I'll probably say it the more we do these. This is probably my favorite one. It's at least in the top five. I really like this movie because it does such a great job of like I could have my kid watch this when he's like 5 years old and he can like this is such a good introduction to the DC. Like it's such a good job of blending all these characters like you were talking about saying, hey, these are established characters in other places and we've made it so that they can give you exposition because they don't know each other either. So that's how they can keep explaining things. And it just works out so well. And again, there's payoffs too. Like you were talking about with Hal and Bruce at the beginning, the payoff where Bruce gets captured on purpose and looks at Hal and gives Hal the validation he's wanted the whole movie, being like, "Hey man, I'm maybe not you, but I'm still good at my job. Like I could still do good." I'm like,
Hmm.
and then when he just says, "Hey, stop trying to be a fucking hero and use those people to your advantage. Stop being me. Stop being selfish."
Yeah,
And like that was such a cool moment because then in
this
that
is such a
moment,
Batman thing to do
and yeah,
too,
because then
because he's just like,
basically tries to sacrifice himself to go get Superman back because he knows that's their best chance. Is Super? They keep calling him their big gun. So
hmm.
yeah, it's just again, I know I've been rambling about it, but
I
I just really love this
there's
movie.
there's not many things, if any, that I can think of that I don't like about this movie. I
Yeah.
think it's borderline perfect. I think because it just, I mean, other than the excessive like Silas and Victor bullshit, which again it came out a while ago, so it's still Cyborg is still kind of one of those characters that like he kind of gets brushed over because not many people know or care about him.
Yeah,
So I
they
understand why they spent a little bit more time on his origin,
it hasn't been
but at the same
until
time, it's just like,
recently. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, I was
I
interrupting you, but
mean, you're
I was
good.
just saying it hasn't been until recently. Like, it wasn't until the new 52, I think. I could be wrong, but as far as I know, the New 52 was like the first introduction of Cyborg into the Justice League because he had been on the
Yeah.
Teen Titans for so long. And I always thought that was an interesting integration of the team. And it shows you how good it is because I thought they had done it before. I was like, I feel like he's been in the Justice League. So he had been such a household name because of Teen Titans. When you put him in there, it makes sense because you're like, oh yeah, I've seen Cyborg before. I know his stuff. You know what I mean?
He
And
was a popular side character in a lot of like the Super
but
Friends.
but at the time this was made and the time the New 52 was coming out, I think was around the time when they were starting to do more of like the Teen Titans Go stuff. So that I'm not. I think yeah, they were probably done with the more like serious original cartoon or whatever. So
Which is a
I can
solid
see how
cartoon
this has got to
in
be like an
itself.
introduction to be like, hey, yeah, that cyborg is more joke, but this is like more main
Yeah,
continuity stuff. Yeah,
but it also explains and sets up the parademon stuff too, because the whole reason they're abducting people is to build the army. They're putting in the mother box technology and doing all this shit so that they can make a parademon. And then
yeah,
the fact that his body and the nanobots with Star Labs counteracted each other to be able to save his consciousness and not make him a fucking demon.
yeah, yeah. That yeah, I keep gushing about this movie because again, like you said, there's a little that I don't like. Where again, I think most of these movies we're going to be positive about. I'm sure there's going to be a couple misses, but like I think we're going to this one again. I can't stress this enough how much I enjoy this movie because like we've been talking about. To me, the most important thing is like you and I've talked about this a lot. I just want DC to be good, and you know what I really want. I really want them. I really want them to show that this is you don't have to do a Marvel method. There's a different way to build a universe. There's a different way to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, we're reaching a weird part where it's starting to. I can see the fatigue set in, and I can see a lot of people not wanting to go see superhero movies. And to be honest, you got to be selective. And I just think like if DC wants to succeed, they have to do something like this, where it's this broad approach, this big approach, because when it's done this way, it's better. I mean, like it's so easy, Luke. Like it's so easy
I
because
know. This is
they have
so.
this, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, the Trinity alone is the like one of the most recognizable properties out there. Batman is the most Googled superhero. He's the most popular superhero of all time. And like it's just right there. And it's like I just don't understand how they don't get it. I just
And how that movie failed miserably.
this movie packed all that shit in like an hour and 15 minutes
Mm-hmm.
because it took like and you and I have been saying this for years. Take advantage of your fucking brand, dude. You know how hard Marvel had to work to make people give a shit about Iron Man and make like all of this Guardians like with James Gunn and Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. Like, you know how hard they put into that brand to make you care about that stuff and it's like you don't even have to do that much legwork with this shit. You know what I mean? It's so easy.
Yeah. It's,
and and I think the right thing to do is to do something like this and I know they're not going to do that, but like this is again something that it's such a missed opportunity. Even Shazam, you could have had Zachary Levi in earlier, and
yeah.
yeah, it's just frustrating. Um, but the movie itself, yeah, we clearly think it's great, but yeah, that the biggest reason for me is just the fact that I care a lot about these characters because I love you and I we joke we're the DC shills. Tyler's the Marvel shill. Like I love DC properties, and
Mhm.
I just want them to be successful.
It's just really sad that you can do this with a fucking cartoon,
Yeah,
and then you can't just because again you said it already. They're just trying way too hard to play catch up,
yeah.
and they're trying
Instead
to
of just going
copy
at their own
copy the
pace.
equation.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like again, you said they're the biggest three, basically the biggest three superheroes in
yeah.
comic book history.
Oh yeah.
They're the originals. They set the fucking backbone to every fucking
The most
story
recognizable
and character
characters
afterwards.
in any medium, the most recognized
And I
characters.
said this before. with Marvel, like I was at a point in like 2013, 2014, whatever. I was like, you put fucking Marvel on the fucking logo, I'm going.
Yeah.
You know, like if you put Batman in a fucking movie, I'm gonna see that shit.
Yeah.
Hands down, I'm going. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
yeah, I mean, yeah, of course.
that's literally all you had to do was just be like, hey, Batman's in this movie.
You said Batman and Superman in the same movie. I'm gonna go fucking see it.
And
And it still
and it's
failed.
sad that you have to rely on a director's cut because
Oh
again,
God.
Snyder is a fantastic filmmaker, but he fails in like so many like he's good, but you can always see his flaws in every movie
Yeah.
because his slow mo shit
No,
for whatever
there's
reason,
some
and
things
he
that
likes to
really
he likes to linger
yeah.
and enforce these like plot points and these bullet things for no reason. Like we've already seen it.
Like we get the themes.
We've
We
seen it.
understand the
We've seen
themes.
it in every fucking version of Batman. We don't need to see you fucking shoot his parents, and we don't need that. You could have
Yeah.
skipped that. You could have went into that, and then you're fucking. We got our moms are the same name. Like,
Hey, you
dude,
know why? You know what else you pointed it, or I pointed it out when I saw Flashpoint. I forgot to mention it last episode. I didn't know that the Flash's mom was Nora.
yeah,
Like, man, DC just really likes double names, huh? Nora
they're
Freeze
like
and
just.
Nora Allen.
Because I mean, at a point, you
There's
got to
only so
reuse
many
names.
names, you
Yeah,
know. Hey,
yeah, but
and there's people with the same first name in the real world. It's normal.
well, get to a point too where um, I think there's
I want to hop back
and
onto this movie, by the way, after this.
Young Justice joked about it too because you got John Stewart and you got John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, and then Red Tornado is
Oh yeah.
he names himself John something too, and it's like they just keep using the names, but Martian Manhunter said to uh, Connor Kent, the clone Superboy, and he said, well, you're gonna need a human name. I suggest you use John because it's a really good name, or something stupid shit like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, good one, buddy.
Good job. You just
Because
came up with that
John, I
one.
guess, is just a super generic human name that everybody needs
Yeah.
to have it.
So anyway, back to this movie. Luke, you know what? You watched it right before we recorded, so you have a more fresher mind. So break down what this movie's all about, bro. So at the
It's
beginning we have
all
a
about
parademon that shows up because Green Lantern's fighting him in Gotham. Batman shows up and says, "Hey, again this shit." Great introduction to these characters to say, "Hey,
Gotham's
this
my turf.
Gotham was where Batman." It's like it's setting out a
And
map
it,
for you, and then he
he
goes, "Hey,
says,
this
Gotham is my
sector,
turf.
but this whole
He said, this
sector,
whole fucking area is my
this
sector.
whole
So,
planet is pretty much
yeah, it was
this whole
funny.
planet's my thing." And it's like again, it's funny that
Because
these,
then, because it's
of
funny
course,
too, because
no, and then again,
Superman says the same thing.
yeah,
Superman said the same thing when
yeah,
they
but
show up.
and it's funny because it's like we were talking about how Hal and Bruce are so similar, like they're speaking in like military terms by being, but also being superheroes, like little
Mm-hmm.
touches like that. And yeah, the Superman, this whole place, yeah, again, I love that.
Was
'Cause-
it's got the emotional tones and different parts because when Batman does his whole pump up speech, he basically says, "You're human, and that's why you're being so egotistical, and you think you have to prove yourself, and that's
yeah,
why you're trying to be
stop
this
trying to be a
thing
hero.
that you're not. So you gotta just do it." But
And then and then Hal comes up with the idea to go after Darkseid's eyes, and which
which when fucking
fucking
Diana fucking stabs his eye,
yeah,
that shit was awesome. Like the whole and after they finally figured it out, like, because Hal says we need to stop going up to bat by ourselves. Everybody going up to bat. We need to play offense. And
yeah.
then they everybody like kind of gave their own explanation as to what the fuck he was trying to say. And they're saying we got to work as a team instead of going as a solo act.
Yeah,
And so they
stop being
started working
selfish.
together,
Yeah,
and it was sloppy and it was this, but they were still getting the shit done. And then at the very end, and you see them all fucking doing it. And the part where Barry stabs his other eye with the fucking crowbar,
oh
and
yeah.
Shazam lights that shit up like a fucking lightning rod. That shit was dope. But she was awesome.
I know.
It's,
I love so
it's just
much
so
about this.
simple and stupid that it was just like,
Yes, it's a fucking comic book. It knows it's a comic book and it plays up to that. You know what I mean? Like, I love shit like that.
but and like the part where because they basically just they all team up and they basically say that they need to work together to fight Darkseid to stop him so they can
Yeah.
save the city, save everybody. And that's just the movie. That's literally the whole movie.
Yeah, it's pretty
Start to
basic.
finish, they're fighting parademons the whole time. Darkseid shows up. They fight Darkseid. They send him back, and then that's the movie.
Yeah.
And then they're getting an award from the president, and they're trying to come up with a name, and he's like the Super Seven, and they're like, "We're absolutely not called that. You need to shut
Yeah.
the fuck up."
Yeah. Well, and I love that Billy is still being a kid in this because I love that. And again, if I remember
Shout
correctly,
out to the casting on that one too.
yeah, I think if I remember correctly in Jeff John's book, it is 'cause I have a poster of it. Yeah, it is Aquaman in the comics. And we'll find out in another movie, the one after this one, why he wasn't in this movie. But they swapped Shazam in for Aquaman, and I think it works really well. I think
Yeah.
again, I think everybody. I'm gonna use a pro wrestling term. Everybody gets their shit in. So like there's everybody gets a cool badass scene in this movie. And that's how a good team movie should work that's what makes the first Avengers so fucking awesome is because everybody gets their
Mm-hmm.
shit in and stuff like that. And
Because then
um
you get the banter between Hal and Barry too, which is funny
yeah,
because
because they're
they
friends
already know each
beforehand.
other.
Yeah.
They already know each other, so they're already kind of going back and forth with their quips. And like you see fucking Diana being this like peace at this peace summit thing with the
Yeah.
president trying to be this
Diplomat.
symbol of peace type shit. I did. That's another thing that I didn't like though. Is I get it. She comes from a world without technology. She comes from a world that's basic.
Yeah.
But I don't like how dumb they made her when she's
Oh yeah, they
eating
make her
ice
see
cream
they see
and waving her sword at the fucking ice cream guy.
they do kind of make her a little bit like ignorant to like modern sensibility, which
Hmm.
I that's one thing I did like about the one of the things that I did like about Patty Jenkins Wonder Woman is that they did modernize her a little bit more and like they didn't make her like this like I don't think she's like primitive in this, but I agree what you mean. Like she definitely still talks like she's out of time and it's like I like how in the newer versions of her it's a little bit more modernized.
Well, it's like you
It's
can
like
do that,
you know what it
where
is.
but
It's like
like not so
you know what I'm thinking
freaking.
of. It's like Thor. Like Thor eventually stops in the movies anyway. He starts talking more like us because he hangs out with humans more. And I think that's what they do in the later versions of Wonder Woman. But I agree
Yeah.
that like I don't like when they make these characters that are supposed to be like a little bit more mythological just talking like ancient dialect. It's like just stop.
Yeah.
I feel like they would lose that at some point.
What they made her
But yeah, they did
they
again.
made her
They
seem
made
more of
her.
like a child, like
They
she was
made
younger, like she was
yeah.
just
They were
stupid.
playing up that she's not used to the outside
Like you
world,
could like you could do that
but not make
without
her
her
seem like a
fucking
kid. Yeah, I agree. I
yeah, like
agree.
she just seemed childish.
That's one of the few things I don't like about the movie.
Yeah.
And honestly, other than that, she gets her shit in. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's again, I'll give
I
credit.
do.
I'll give credit to Zack Snyder. That's one thing he fucking nailed was the Trinity was great together in Batman v Superman. And again, the yeah, I like her in this a lot too. Wonder
But I
Woman
was gonna say too.
lately has been killing it for me. And like I'm like shit, I should read more Wonder Woman comics.
I like when they all show up and Hal looks at Barry and he calls dibs and he's like, "I'm gonna go for this bitch." And then Shazam shows up and he looks at Superman, or he asks Lo, or I'll say Lois. He asks Diana, "Is that your boyfriend?" And she's like, "No." And he goes, "Cool, well, watch this." And he goes and tries to fucking kick
Yeah,
Darkseid's ass.
yeah,
Like they're all trying to fight over fucking
yeah.
Diana. Like I think that's fucking
Which could
hilarious.
yeah, it's funny. Yeah, because it's bound to happen with a bunch of egotistical dudes. So, well, they're not all egotistical, but.
But the one's 13, the other
Yeah,
one
one's a
is a
kid.
is a douchebag.
Yeah, it's just
Great
awesome.
movie.
Good movie.
Fantastic.
Good movie.
This one's
Uh,
a little bit short and to the point because
it's only like an
it's
hour
just that good.
14 or something, or hour 15. It's
But
yeah. Well, and that's what I mean. That's what's so frustrating. It did it in an hour 14 minutes. Did a great job of establishing these characters and establishing a threat and delivering on it. And again, I just it could have. I think this could have easily worked in live action.
yeah, for sure.
And again, I what I said about the Flashpoint paradox, I'll say again about this movie. I'll probably keep saying it the more we do it. I feel like there was more meat on this bone. I could have watched another hour of this shit. I loved it.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I just I'm glad that and I'm gonna go see it. Well, I've already seen it at this point when this episode comes out. But Spider-Verse, I'm so happy. One, it was a success because it's a great movie. And then the second one's gonna is great too. And I'm excited because I like those movies a lot, but I think it's going to give us more risks in animation, and I hope to see something like this, even if it's just animated, and another, something like this, and like a big epic. I would love to see it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. So, is there anything else we want to talk about? Any other cool shit? Gonna be a short. Again, this
No,
episode is shorter because this movie is pretty quick. It's like it's really
like I
bam,
said,
bam,
it's
bam.
it's basically them just fighting parademons. They throw a couple punches at each other. They realize, hey, we're on the same
You know what?
side.
You know what I think of? I just thought of this. I'm gonna keep using pro wrestling as an example here. So you know how I said, get all the shit in? It's a Royal Rumble match. It's a Royal Rumble match. It's this big epic confrontation. Somebody's always coming in at some point in the fight, and all the big big names at the time, the big cool characters, the Justice League, was just beating the shit out of all these parademons, and it's the Royal Rumble match, and they get all their shit in, and then they beat the bad guy, and we all go home happy.
Sure,
What else can you say?
sure.
21. I'm giving it a straight perfect. I mean, we spent
Yeah,
40 minutes just going ham on this movie, being like, GC, you should have made this. And we're just like, there's no way we're
yeah.
not going to give it a perfect score. Are you kidding me?
Perfect.
Put up the cards.
Because I like because this cast is done. I really enjoy this cast. I
Yeah.
do. It's great. Like
I
there were just some weird curveball names, like
Fun fact. I'm
fucking Samwise.
I'm excited for next week because I have never seen Throne of Atlantis. So this will be the first movie that we'll watch that I've never seen.
I think I've seen it. I think I've seen it, but at the same time, I don't think I've seen it because it came out at the time where Aquaman was one of those loser, dumb characters that nobody really cared about. Like you
I
knew
think
of
it was
him, you
I
liked
think it was the
him, but it was
opposite.
like
That was this like again, this is Jeff Johns, so they were trying to make him more popular at the time, I think.
I was saying, like it came out right at that, like right in the transitional time where
He was
he used to be
starting to
shit,
become cool. Yeah, yeah.
and then they started to become cool. So
I see what you're
this came
saying.
out, and it was like because Aquaman was the butt of every
Yeah.
superhero joke for
Yeah.
whatever reason, which doesn't make sense because in the animated show, he was a fucking douche badass. Cut his own hand off to save his son. Like, would you
If
do that?
would you would you do it? Think about that.
Think
Aquaman didn't.
about that. All right,
Aquaman didn't even
that's your
have to think
homework.
about
That's your homework. Watch.
Justice
Would you
League.
cut your hand off
Oh
to save
wow.
your son?
Oh, and then watch this other movie.
Ready to play a game. Hmm. So if you wake up in a death trap, much like the
Dying over
Saw
here.
movies, you'll know it was me.
Woo! It was you. You were the jigsaw. I
Yeah.
was the jigsaw.
Still think that they missed an opportunity, and they could have just hired Hunter
Triple H.
to be the game. Yeah, to be the game. Because that movie pissed me off too. This is totally random, but the ending of that movie was pissed me off. Game over. What?
Yeah, he just comes in and pedigrees him. Game over. You know what? Better movie. All right. Yeah. I think
That
that's
should be that should be something we should do too, where we just pick a random movie
and
and
rewrite it.
we just change the main character. So like Saw, we change it from Jigsaw to the game.
It's all about the game and how you play it, Luke. That's all I'm saying.
And then put put Batman in fucking Titanic or some shit like that. You know? Let's get weird with it.
You weird with it. Put Batman in Friday the 13th. But
Oh, speaking of which,
no,
are we gonna do the
he's
Scooby
like
Doo Batman movie?
Batman versus Dracula or something like that.
Yeah, just like crazy weird shit like that, where like it makes sense if you really think about it.
Because they think he's a vampire.
Like 18th century or 19th century, whatever, 18th point. Anyway, cowboy type shit where Van Helsing is actually Bruce Wayne. And he's hunting down fucking Dracula. You know what I'm saying?
I think we should have
You can
this
get
episode like
you can
5 minutes ago,
get
personally.
Clint Eastwood to be fucking
All right, that's enough.
Van Helsing Batman. I mean, he's old and crippled now. But
Yeah, that wouldn't work now. Luke, hope you had fun. This has been another episode.
I hope you had fun.
I am.
Because I sure did.
Oh, it could have been worse. I hope you had fun. With that little diatribe ruining the whole fucking episode. Whoa. I really thought you had a green screen under your shirt, like you had a green shirt
I
on.
wish.
Anyway, next next week's homework is Justice League, Throne of Atlantis, and again, we're gonna be fun for me because I've never seen it. So, what about
This
you?
is our
You haven't seen it.
history of cinema. History of cinema, where we delve deep into mythology and
Atlantis.
Atlantean theories.
All right. Anyway, so next week, thanks so
Sorcery
much
of the
for
mind.
listening. Keep drawing.